Ziegler, if you would open with a prayer.
Father God, we come together today on this great day, and we ask that you help each one of us on the county commission to be one together to do the best that we can for Montgomery County and for our district. Amen.
Amen.
All right, Florence. Sheriff Cunningham. Can you come here a minute, please?
Good morning. Our visitors today, we'll hear from GIS Mapping Manager Todd Grant, Grants Administrator Regina Walker, County Engineer George Speake, Chief Appraiser Clay Henley. The sheriff is not on the schedule as such, but he has wants to bring you up to date on some matters. We can go over the items to be considered during the formal session. We will consider excess workers' compensation insurance renewal, consider medical stop-loss insurance renewal, consider property and casualty insurance renewal, consider miscellaneous appropriations to agencies. Chairman Singleton has added $800 to the Sheriff's Foundation. Are there any other additions? Consider miscellaneous appropriations to education. Any additions there? Consider miscellaneous appropriations from designated revenue. Consider a bid award to regional produce distributors to provide milk and juice to the youth facility. Consider budget change request number 1 for the probate judge's office. Consider changing the pay range of public safety communications operator and public safety communication dispatcher from pay grade A4 to A05. Consider starting pay step and irregular step increase for payroll and benefits assistant from pay grade A06 step 5 to pay grade A06 step 6. Consider a position fill request for the County Commission for a Director of Human Resources. Consider a position fill request for the detention facility for a corrections officer trainee. Consider a position fill request for the District Attorney's Office for a legal support assistant. Consider a position fill request for the probate judge's office for a customer service clerk and election training coordinator. Consider position fill request for the sheriff's office for 2 deputy sheriff trainees and a deputy sheriff cadet. Consider travel training requests for the DA office, engineering, and the sheriff's office. Todd Grant.
Okay, good.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
My item today is a grant that's administered through the Alabama Department of Transportation. It's $10,000. There is a buy-in, but the buy-in is included, so I'm asking to waive rules for the acceptance of the $10,000 grant.
Is this something that's time-sensitive, Todd?
Yes, sir, it is. The buy-in is included. It's I don't understand why they did it that way, but there is no buy-in that the county has. So we don't have to pay $25? No, sir. No, sir.
Is there any objection to waiving rules on this item?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Apologize for being late. The cost of this software,
I'm sorry?
the cost of the software, the total cost.
This is for the, this is for the
Yeah.
imagery. The total cost of the imagery project was $480,000.
I was just curious about why we don't have more buy-in. $10,000 is just a small amount compared to the total price.
Well, the Montgomery Waterworks and Sanitary Sewer Board, they recently bought in at $89,000.
It's getting a little cheaper.
It
No more
helps,
for it.
every little bit helps.
Are they the only one using it, the DOT and Water Board?
The city uses it and the school board, but they also contribute to the percentage of the total cost.
So how much do we have total from all the other users?
I haven't totaled their, they each pay a different percentage of the total cost. I'll have to get back with you on that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any objection to waiving rules on this item?
No objection.
Okay, thank you, Todd.
Thank you.
Grants Administrator Regina Walker.
Good morning. This is a cooperative agreement that's a continuation of a Homeland Security 8 ATL grant. It's a training grant that Alabama Law Enforcement Agency used, and it's just to cover some expenses that were incurred in August.
Is there any objection to waiving rules for this one?
I have no objection.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Regina.
County Engineer George Speake.
Yes, this future agenda item number 2, it's a funding agreement for resurfacing Hobbie Road from Hillabee Road to US 331. It's a little over 9 miles. And the total project cost is $1,747,000. And we have MPO funds, is 80% of that, which is $1,397,000. And the county's 20% match is roughly $349,000. And we have the match budgeted in our budget. And so we'll request approval of that.
Please note that Administrator Cauthen does not live on Hobbie Road anymore. We paved it after you left, so,
Of course.
yeah, of course. So, any questions for Mr. Speak?
And-
This is not, is this the one that was budgeted for last year?
No, sir, it was in this year's budget.
I saw something, you got something else on there?
Yes, sir, that's the next item, I probably. Future agenda item number 3.
It's actually 4.
Number 4. 3 is next.
Oh, 4, okay, I got it. All right. It's a budget change request to carry forward funds we had budgeted last year for equipment purchases, and there was a delay because of the supply chain issues.
Sheriff, what does that amount to? Does that amount to an increase in
It's
this
not,
budget for this year? Pardon?
It'll increase this year's budget, but it was actually unspent last year. They ordered the equipment, couldn't get it in, so they have to move.
right, it was encumbered in last year's budget, and so we're just moving it forward to the,
It's in there. The money's in there. I was just wondering what,
Joe, what's the
Yeah.
average delay on getting equipment?
these rollers, it's been 2 years, we're going over 2 years now on these rollers. And on the trucks, about a year, roughly delayed about a year.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Supply chain,
it
everything.
really is. The chip shortages, well, like we've got 2 F-350s and 1 F-250 that we haven't gotten yet. Now, they've said they're rationing out the chips on the Fords to the F-150s because they're, more, they sell more of those. So I think a lot of it's chips and other supply issues.
So any other questions on item number 4? That'll be next agenda. Thanks, George.
All right, thank you.
Chief Appraiser Clay Henley.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here today to request a special starting salary for our new Assistant Chief Appraiser. Our previous assistant chief retired, I think, back in May. After conducting interviews, I selected one of our employees, Ms. Jabara McCall Martin. She has about 8 years' experience with us. She has 10 years' experience prior in management with ADECA, supervising and managing 25 employees. She also has a master's degree in management. So what she's going to be mostly doing, in addition to the appraisal work, is that she will be managing the office. And so given all those qualifications and what she will be doing, I'm requesting that she start a little bit higher than the entry at step 5 in her pay scale.
I'm reading this. Let me make sure I understand. The salary for the position was 105?
Correct. It's budgeted, and I'm asking for 89 too.
105 was where
The previous.
The previous.
The previous,
Retiring.
yes.
Okay.
So this is budgeted. I guess I should have said that as well.
And she's been with the county for how long?
8 years.
Okay. What is she currently, this is a promotion?
Yeah, she's in our appraiser 3. She's moved fairly quickly. We've had some people retire, so she's
Okay.
moved up in our organization pretty quickly. She achieved her certification relatively early, earlier than most, so.
Clay, it's always good to see us, that we're able to promote from inside, to have people in training that can move in case that top position becomes vacant.
Right.
That was something the chairman was always strong on,
Yeah.
making sure, Chairman Dean I'm talking about.
Right.
Making sure that we had people within the department who could take over at a moment's notice.
Right.
I think it's a great opportunity to
Well-
do that. And in this case, as I understand it, the impact on the budget actually is a positive, because you were paying 105 and you're going to be paying 89 for
Correct.
this position.
Correct, and I'll come back in and probably with her position, I don't know that there would be anybody available to take it, either coming from another county or from the state, so I'll probably drop it to an appraiser 1, which will further,
Is this something, why do we have to consider when it's no impact on the budget?
Because it's an irregular step. Normally, this person would start at a step 1.
Yeah, one is
It's-
78,000, so.
Oh, okay.
And so why the step 5 instead of step 1?
Given the previous management experience and the workload that she had, she's not gonna be coming in, just doing and learning or whatever. She's gonna take it from the beginning. So I feel with what she's gonna be taking on, that's appropriate to start. If I'd have gone outside of here, it probably would have likely been, at least what we were paying before or more to get somebody with more experience.
Any other questions? Next agenda. Thanks, Clay.
The sheriff wanted to take a few minutes to update you on plans for the jail work that we hope to be starting soon.
Good morning. I'm talking to all y'all. Glad to see y'all here. Good. All right. Yeah, I want to give y'all a brief update. I know questions always come up about our renovations in the jail, and we met with the architects, and we really gonna go out, hopefully be able to push the bid out next week so that we can get it open and get you all to get it approved by December the 6th at that meeting. Really, because it's taken us 47 weeks to be able to get our equipment in to replace the chiller, 37 weeks to get the equipment in to replace the boiler. So either we go ahead and try to get this bid out on the market so that we can get it approved. All we're doing is just pushing this back, just like George just talked about, being able to get the equipment in. That's our major holdup, and we keep prolonging it. We're already looking at 37 weeks and 47 weeks. So really, it's going to be very important that we get this bid out so that we can get it in and get it approved so that we can get the equipment ordered. Y'all got
And
any
this is just one phase of
Yeah.
all the work to be done. So he just wanted to make you aware of that we will be putting this bid out and hopefully be able to award it in early December.
December, yeah, which is a must.
The delay is What you attributed the delay to?
Oh, being able to get the equipment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just thought maybe somebody was responsible.
No, that's what I'm
Somebody
saying. The
was
equipment's
responsible.
gonna take 47 weeks for one part of it and 37 weeks for the other part
that-
after you order it to get it in.
Is that driving the cost up?
Well, not only is that, no, I ain't gonna say that's driving the cost up, but we're looking at the point of, we got another summer coming up, and the chiller goes out then, we got no air conditioning. And the boiler goes out, we got no hot water. We've been struggling to keep the hot water going now. So we need to get this stuff ordered so that we can get this stuff in, so we can get this project going. And if not, we're gonna find ourselves in a pickle when this stuff go out and we can't get the equipment. We're being proactive. So that's what we're trying to do.
Any other questions for the sheriff?
Thank y'all.
Are you gonna do breakfast on the 10th? You wanna announce that?
Yeah,
Please.
yeah, for the county employees, we're gonna do our county employees breakfast.
The day
on the-
before Veterans Day, right?
Yeah, Veterans Day that Friday. So we're gonna do that Thursday over in the Commons. So letting y'all know now, so y'all come on out. We're gonna start early, so y'all come on out, okay? All
Sheriff,
right.
Thank
Sheriff,
you.
Sheriff, oh, you're working on getting the building lit in green? Where are you with that? You?
Well, we've already, the process is being able to get the lights.
Well, no.
That's the holdup, is the lights, because everybody in the nation is trying to get the lights.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find green lights to be able to light the building up, but we got our fingers crossed and hopefully we'll get some stuff in.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Speaking of green lights, item number 6 is a resolution regarding Operation Green Light for veterans.
What are we doing? Green lights, okay, what else?
Well, we have recently distributed a survey to all our county employees to try to identify all of our veterans and hope to be able to recognize them in some way. Like the sheriff said, we're trying to find a way to light our buildings in green, which has proved to be a challenge so far, but we're working on it. The sheriff will do a breakfast on Thursday before Veterans Day.
For the breakfast for,
Well, it's a county, all county employee breakfast, but it is,
veterans will be recognized at the breakfast or something?
if,
Pardon? I mean, I read this, you know, and I support it. I'm a veteran, and I support recognizing veterans and doing what we can. But I was just wondering if there's some kind of state funded program that we're pushing as Montgomery County that's actually going to help the veterans, going to do something for the veterans, going to recognize veterans other than the veterans here.
Well, the whole purpose is to bring attention to the veterans, the plight of the veterans who serve this country, but are having some difficulty accessing the benefits that they're entitled to. So the green lights is to generate some discussion, not only to talk about the veterans and the services they provided, the sacrifices that they made, the sacrifices their families have made, but to bring attention to some of the challenges that they experience in trying to access the benefits. And so we did meet with a group of people who are concerned about veterans with the Department of Mental Health. Judge McCord, I didn't even know they had a veterans court here, actually. She was there, had a number of other veterans there, and from healthcare, mental health, the court system, talking about what some of the challenges are regarding benefits that veterans are entitled to and how do they avail themselves of the benefits. So we may even, in the long run, put together a directory of all the various benefits and services here in Montgomery County that are there to assist veterans, and they may not know anything about it.
I think that's a great idea, and that's the kind of thing I was thinking about, because in the resolution, we do mention programs that were funded by state, local government that were supportive of veterans, and at the very least, we can do that, other than just, this is just lip service here.
But we're trying to put the organizations together so that, well, with really a sub-theme is bridging the gap to better serve the veterans in Montgomery County. So hopefully we'll be able to identify all the resources that are available that the veterans may not know anything about.
The next agenda, Florence.
item number 5 is a resolution expressing support for the adoption of amendments number 2 and number 7 to the Alabama Constitution. The county Alabama County Commission Association is encouraging these resolutions in support of those amendments.
Mr. Chairman, I was not able to open those amendments. Well, those amendments, they were attached, but
No, they're not attached.
I didn't, did I get it? Were they available for us to
I've seen the
review?
attachments, with the resolutions what's available here, but, that's the only thing, but, I have read both of those. Broadband expansion is Amendment 2, Amendment 7 was technical changes to local governments. Economic development powers, the most important import of which clarifying all counties may exercise these powers. It's something ACCA has asked all 67 counties to support.
We got a detailed email about it.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
and it was something from ACCA too. I saw a couple
That's the
of
one
those.
I was referring to.
Yeah.
Do we have copies of those forms here available?
I will get them to you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Next agenda, Florence.
I believe that covers all the items to be considered.
Okay, today's a very special day for Montgomery County. 11 o'clock, we have a major announcement, so we're kind of trying to best be good stewards of the time this morning. Does any commissioners have an issue? We've got, I think, a couple of people have signed to speak at 10 o'clock. Any issue with them going now?
No.
And then we'll try to do the executive session whenever, I see Ellen is not here yet, so we'll do that after so if you signed up to public speak, if you would, raise your hand. Would you like to come forward, ma'am? Please, when you do, please state your name and your organization when you come forward. Is that Ms. Gant?
Yeah.
Ms. Gant, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Constance Gant, and, well, I'm a combat veteran, and we have an organization, DAV, Chapter 12. But I was here today, I wanted to, it's on a historical marker for Inez Baskin, and I wanted to present that to the council. And I brought the 5 copies, which I got from the archive, which is Scotty Kirtland, which he had wrote for me as far as this historical marker for the Inez Baskin. And I have a quote for this marker and what's the archive, Scotty Kirtland presented.
You got a very impressive resume here. I was reading that Jet magazine.
Yes, sir.
And I may be wrong, but I think the announcement today, the person involved in that owned Jet magazine at one time. They do. Is that correct?
Yes,
That's what I thought. I know Ebony magazine too, right?
And
Yeah, so
both
that's
of
kinda-
those.
To see that, it's kind of ironic that today is the day that we're doing that too, so.
Yes, sir.
First woman to earn a degree from Selma University too.
Yes, sir.
So what are you asking for, Ms. Gant?
I was asking for, as far as financial help for, this marker.
$2,810.
Yes, sir, that's what, I presented it to the, archive, and Scotty Kirtland, he, got with these, the marker.
Yes.
Ms. Baskin, where's the marker gonna be placed? Do you know?
Yes, sir, it's, what's gonna be placed in front of her home on Mobile Highway.
Okay.
The home,
Where's her home on the Mobile Highway?
it's, 3626.
What's it close to? Do you know where the probate office is? Is it?
Yes, sir, it's down a little farther, it's, near where the Richard Boone, that animal clinic that's there.
Okay. Yeah. That's
It's
gonna-
like one, maybe site from that, clinic. It's a clinic that's there.
Have you spoken with anybody at the Montgomery Advertiser?
Sir?
Have you spoken with anybody at the Montgomery Advertiser on this project?
No, sir. The only someone I spoke with was the Scotty Kirkland that was at the archive.
Montgomery,
This is-
Independence here, Ben's here, you might want to.
Where she spent her career, I mean, you think they'd have some interest in this?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
We definitely want to get the coverage out on that day, media, television, print media,
Okay.
social media.
I'm not
This-
talking about that. I'm talking about this $2,800.
Yes, sir. Well,
I mean, we should be the last people you come to.
but
It
I'm,
is.
yes,
I mean, this should be a community project in my mind.
Yes.
I mean, I don't oppose it, but this is the first place you stop to get the money for the marker.
Well, I was
I remember
gonna-
her as a
I
child.
wa-
I remember,
I was gonna go also to the city council this evening.
I don't, you know, this is, the community should be aware that there's a project that's trying to do something historically to recognize Ms. Baskins. You know, and I don't know that we should just jump in and shortcut it, and nobody will know about it. You know, she worked for the Advertiser for years. I was a Montgomery Advertiser in Alabama Journal paper. I remember when it was a Negro section in the Alabama Journal.
Right.
You know, and that was a little bit of news that we got on those pages. And it wasn't always positive. But anyway, I just think that this effort should be broader before you come to us with it.
but keep doing what you're doing. I agree with Commissioner Harris, but I'm going to try to find you from my friends and family members at least $1,000, so get you halfway home, okay?
Okay.
I don't think
appreciate
it'd be a
it.
problem raising this money in the community. I really don't.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Appreciate the efforts.
Okay, thanks.
We're not gonna leave you hanging. We're gonna find,
No.
help you out. We're gonna,
I'm not
we gonna help you
opposing it. No, I'm not, but I'm just saying, this is, I mean,
Well,
she was a
whatever.
significant player in the history of Montgomery. And this is just a.
Well, whatever contribution that I could get, I will be appreciated.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so thanks.
Thank you for coming.
Is there anybody else here would like to share? Yes, ma'am, please come forward.
Good morning, Commissioner
Morning.
and members. I'm Jewel Pitts. I currently serve as the president of the Central Alabama Tennis Association, as well as the vice president of the USTA Southern Central Region. But today, I'm here as a representative of the River Region Pickleball Club. And I join my members here. I join my members here
I like that she's here.
as advocates for public courts to be built here in our beloved city. Montgomery is the largest city of its size in this region without any designated public pickleball courts. If you are at all familiar with the sport, you will know that pickleball is the fastest growing sport, not only in this state, not only in this country, but globally. For Montgomery, serving as the capital of our state, I think it is a travesty that we do not have pickleball courts designated for our city. Now, pickleball in itself is a diverse sport, offering services to not only veterans that you have referenced previously, but we've got physicians retired, we have attorneys, we have CPAs, we have mental health experts, being myself, a 40-year state employee retired of the Department of Mental Health. We've got teachers. We have a global, diverse population playing pickleball right here in our own city. If you're not a member of any of the private clubs, that being Wind Lakes, Montgomery Country Club, or any of the YMCAs, you don't play pickleball. We've got parks here that could very well offer the opportunity for building such facilities. And we are just at a loss when we have folks who come here for Maxwell and Gunter serving our country, who consistently contact us wanting to know where they can play pickleball. Montgomery is very much behind the curve when it comes to this sport. Y'all, we've got to get on board.
Thank you so much for coming and bringing this contingent of local pickleball players. I think there's been a lot of ignorance abounding with regard to this sport and the popularity and the importance, because the age demographics, young and old alike, both can play it and enjoy playing it, and it has been used in the last few weeks locally as kind of a, people have mocked it and condescended to it as if it's some rich white elite sport. And it is not. And so I'm so glad that this wonderful group is here, and we're being very short-sighted in Montgomery. I agree, it's time. But there's a lot, take heart, there's a lot of interest amongst the leadership in making sure there are some public pickleball facilities, and we need to do it soon. We should have done it, but the best time to plant a tree 20 years ago, now it's today, and we've got to do it. So thank you so much for coming, and I for one agree with you completely.
Thank you.
Before you go,
Before you go too,
because I think it's important that we,
you got to,
you understand.
Mr. Secretary,
Well,
please
yeah,
let
but
me clear, let me clear the air
no,
here.
well,
There's a gross misunderstanding going on here. And there's a lot of, as she said, ignorance going on about this whole issue. Number one, both the city and the county have parks and recreation departments, all right? My position is to expand the county's recreation department because the city has fallen short. All the public parks that you see and use in Montgomery are operated and owned by the city of Montgomery. My position is, I love tennis. I don't know pickleball, but I have nothing against pickleball. I have nothing against any of those sports. But we're about to spend ARPA funds that were intended to be spent in a certain way. It's my position that they should not be spent to build pickleball courts at the YMCA, which is not public. If you don't have a membership, you can't play there. I'm all for pickleballs. The city can build what they want to build, and once we develop, my position is this. For 40 years, we have watched the city of Montgomery and the Montgomery Public Schools just destroy community centers all over this city. And what it results is our kids are in the streets. They're getting into trouble because there's no organized activities for them to get involved in. And my thing is that priorities should be placed on revitalizing, building new community centers within each community. And you could have a pickleball court at a public community center and everybody can play there. That's my position. Yeah. My position is that should be prioritized. We have 80-something million dollars. And the things that I am pushing and the things that Commissioner Sankey are pushing, these are things that's going to help the majority of the people in Montgomery County and things that have been neglected for years. I love tennis, don't know pickleball, don't have anything against it. It's got to get in line. And when it gets in line, it can't be, this is not the money to spend that on. So the independent, I appreciate the publicity, but you got me wrong. I'm not opposing pickleball. I'm not opposing tennis. I'm not opposing the YMCA. I grew up in the YMCA. But I'm opposing spending these funds. Spending these funds before we spend money on a problem that has caused us to lose going on 3 generations of young people in Montgomery County because there's no organized activities in these communities. Don't have any. You have communities in my district, more than 30,000 residents. There's not a community. They don't even have a place to meet. They're meeting in churches. They're meeting all over the place because there's no place for that to happen. And I understand what you're saying, but believe me, what I'm opposing, the pickleball courts that I'm opposing, they're not a public pickleball courts. I went out and visited the facility the other day. They're going to resurface that whole Emory Farmer field. They're going to resurface it with artificial turf. And some of those courts are going to be used for pickleball. And if you don't have a membership, you ain't going to be able to play.
Excuse me, Commissioner Harris, I'm gonna let Commissioner Vice Chairman say.
Yeah,
something.
well,
We're
most
running
of,
out of time.
Commissioner Harris, what he said, I agree with everything he said, and I guess he's already expressed my sentiments too, but I don't know if you all were misled in terms of whether or not people on this commission was opposed to pickleball. I think if all of us here understand economic development, I first saw pickleball when I went to Anniston, Alabama, to the YMCA. I didn't know what they were doing, and someone took time to explain it to me, and I thought it was an interesting sport. I realized it began getting a lot of national attention. There was something on the NBC News, nightly news, a couple of nights ago about the popularity of pickleball. So we're not opposed to pickleball. I think you all perhaps should go back and look at the ARPA, the American Rescue Plan. I'm against spending money for pickleball, American Rescue Plan money for pickleball. That money was meant, because all of us can say we were negatively impacted by the pandemic, but community of color, low-income communities, qualified census tracts factored heavily into the formula that the U.S. Treasury used to decide how much money Montgomery County would get, how much money the city of Montgomery would get. And so we, as Commissioner Harris said, we want to make sure that that money, some of it at least, is spent in underserved communities. Pickleball by itself is an economic development project, and the U.S. Treasury has already said that an economic development project in and of itself is probably not a permissible use for spending ARPA money. So I would encourage you all, as you go out and you promote pickleball, find out where you're going to get the money from to build the courts and so forth. That's what you all need to be doing in addition to promoting pickleball as a sport, as an economic development tool. Let's talk about together how we're going to get the money to build it. It shouldn't be built on the backs of poor folks who never had anything in the first place. And so if you're trying to take ARPA money to do it, I'm certainly opposed to that.
Well, let me just say this. You referenced rehabbing, rehabilitation, particularly for our youth. That is one organized sport that is diverse enough. It transcends genders, it transcends age, it transcends diverse cultures, and so that in itself is considered. It
Yes,
needs
ma'am.
to be considered.
Not arguing about
And
that.
I do need to clarify, when we're here advocating for pickleball, we are not advocating on behalf of the YMCA. The YMCA comes into the mix because that is the only place you can play organized pickleball if you're not a member of the private club.
Yes, ma'am.
So
What
that's
are you
why-
You've gotten caught up in a little political
Yeah.
so we
So,
appreciate what you've said.
We
I don't think
appreciate
this is
pickleball as
gonna,
well, but we just want
need
to
to go
know
any
if you would have
further.
some ideas about where we get the money from to build the pickleball courts.
we're gonna
So,
work
yeah,
on
we
that
need
with
to-
you.
Let's table this, and that's
Yeah,
not you to
Ms.
come.
Pitts.
That's the county commission to sit here,
Yeah.
and we come up with the idea
Yeah.
where to get the money from,
Ms.
to do it, in every community. That's us, and it needs to be done, it hadn't been done, but prior to my time coming here, and it needs to be done. We need to sit up and have a meeting and decide where the money comes from, to make sure the community centers are built. I agree with you, Commissioner Harris, we need them.
Thank you.
Thank
We need
y'all
to
for
move
being
on.
here.
Is there anybody else that wanted to speak this morning before? Okay, we're going, I need you got one, you wanna come on, sir? We got about 3 or 4 more minutes.
I'll be a phone call, man. I'll be a phone call, don't I?
Shelby, is Ellen coming too?
All right.
Okay, just you, okay.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, and to the commission this morning. Thank you for the opportunity to come before you. My name is Robert Wagstaff. All of you know me. I'm with VAC CDC. We are a nonprofit community development corporation. We are redeveloping and rehabbing houses at the 1600 block and the 1700 block, the 1200 block of Eden Nixon Avenue. I come before you this morning because we are in the process of starting another project at 1217 Eden Nixon Avenue. If you ride in the area now, you'll see the project, what we have done. We're not coming asking out of just asking. We're coming because we have a product that is visible. We'll build houses. We'll rehab houses. And we'll continue to do this. So long, that area has been neglected. So when we come and ask for money, you're going to say, well, you're putting money, you're throwing money away. But we're not throwing money away. What we're doing, we're investing now for the future. And I'm asking you to consider this offer. I'm asking for $30,000 this morning. And the reason why I'm asking for this is because we put this money in the area where it's needed, it's worthwhile, and it will pay off eventually. The tax structure will change for the property. The property value will go up. Any area in Montgomery where we have invested money, it started from somewhere, and then the property value started escalating. We got the infrastructure in West Montgomery. We just need to put some money there to rehab, do construction, and I'm asking you to consider this project because I believe it's worthwhile.
Any questions for
Yeah,
Reverend?
Pastor Wagstaff, you and I have talked about what you've done over the past 30 years in terms of ACT CDC. I had encouraged you to put together a more comprehensive plan and maybe send it to Levitate to see if you could do some of this work a more comprehensive fashion with American Rescue Plan dollars. Housing rehab is permissible use for the money, and I would love to see a plan put forth at least for consideration.
Well, we're working on that, but I need some money now so that we can start on this project because we're trying to get this going. I hope you understand. This is it's really not funny. This is a serious matter because what we are doing there in West Montgomery, if you ride through that neighborhood, ride through that 1600 block, you'll see the changes that have been made. And I'm serious about doing things to help elevate the lives of individuals living in that area. We live there, we worship there, and we work that area. That's what we contemplate all the time, that we want to do these things to help elevate the lives of others. So any consideration given this morning would be appreciated. We are going to look at Levitate and talking with them about other things for us, doing some other projects in the area as well. So,
Reverend, I apologize. You've been doing a lot of great things in Montgomery for years and trying to make a difference. I appreciate you.
it takes some money to get things done.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Nita? Yes.
We had one more person
Oh,
who.
we did, okay. I missed, missed her, okay, I didn't see her.
Good morning, commissioners and audience. My name is Mary Williams. I'm here on the behalf of the people of Montgomery County who have been denied or have been ignored about rental assistance. I'm requesting that all information be transparent to the county, to the communities, to be provided on a website so that we can know what the fiduciary contractor is doing with the funds and why they're not helping all the people that are in need. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Kendall Anderson. Kendall ran.
I've met
You
Kendall,
talked with Kendall?
Commissioner Harris, and Kendall didn't have all the answers.
Okay.
But he's going to look into it, and if you all would table this for the next meeting to find out what exactly the contractor company needs to make transparent, being so that the people of Montgomery can have easy access to getting those American funds, I believe Mr. Sankey called.
Well, I'm not sure if you're referring to the rental system program or the American Rescue Plan dollars, but I take it that you're referring, when you talk about rental assistance, you're talking about the emergency rental system plan.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. After we get a vote to move to executive session, we will recess to executive session until 10 o'clock, and then we'll start the formal session at 10. So I entertain a motion to adjourn to executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye. We'll be back at 10 o'clock.